As a society, we want to encourage people to be creative and inventive, and to be able to make a living off it. This means that there must be some level of protection available for those creations, such as works of art or inventions. Otherwise, every photographer could be easily plagiarized and would never see any reward for their job. For an invention, this protection is not automatic. One needs to obtain a patent. For the work of art, this intellectual property translates automatically into copyright. Copyright is the right to reuse and distribute the work or its image, and is usually granted for a limited time. The Mona Lisa, for instance, is too old, so there is no copyright on it. Say Bob has the copyright of some work, and Alice wants to use it. Then Alice will have to ask for permission, and Bob has two options. Of course, he can refuse, or he can accept and possibly charge Alice for it. In the US, there are exceptions to this, generally called fair use. These can apply in different contexts, for instance, the news, parody, or nonprofit education. This becomes very tricky in the context of MOOCs, as some of the companies distributing them, such as Coursera, are for profit in ways that are not exactly clear. For instance, I do not intend to make money off this course, but Coursera somehow does, so I have to be very careful with what I use. The scale in a MOOC is so large that using images can interfere with the original use of the image, and this means exceptions that apply to classroom use do not apply anymore. It can also be very tricky to determine what kind of use one can do of the materials. If this figurine had been a figurine of Disney's Alice in Wonderland, for instance, Disney could have tried to argue that I have violated copyright law. It's not even entirely clear that by using these bricks, I'm not in violation of that law. In general, this is a completely new landscape, and it's still to be defined. Fortunately, others have figured out ways to simplify the system, for instance with Creative Commons. If you create content and want to encourage others to reuse it, it would be very wise for you to look a little bit at Creative Commons and try to pick a licensing scheme that you like.